Good morning, everyone. This is Servium calling. My name is Steve Dawes. I'm your host today, and welcome to the next in the series of our INOOT webinars. I need one of those. The purpose of our webinars is to inform you as our customers, talk to you about the latest technologies, what's trending in the marketplace, things that we believe can give you a business advantage. So welcome, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to join. Today, we're focusing around Zoom and their Zoom phone proposition. And joining me today is Mike Persaud, who's the product specialist from Zoom Phone. Morning, Mike.
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday.
Thanks for taking the time to join us, Mike, our subject matter expert today. So, usual format, we're using Zoom as a platform to deliver the webinar. It will be recorded, so we will be able to share it with you when it's finished. It'll also be published on our YouTube channel. There'll be opportunity to put Mike on the spot, like I always do, questions and answers at the end, and also a poll as well. So really, for me, it's all about delivering some good content today, and I think the Zoom phone proposition is really an exciting subject to talk about. So let's have a look at, like I always do, look back in history. 10th of July, what's happened in history? So in year 138, Hadrian, who built the wall, the Roman emperor, died at the age of 62. In 1913, the world's official highest record temperature was recorded in Death Valley in California at 134 degrees Fahrenheit or 56.7 degrees centigrade. It's the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Britain, so 1940, that began today when German forces started attacking shipping in the English Channel. For tennis fans, 1945, Virginia Wade, the English tennis player who won Wimbledon in 1977, was born in Bournemouth. In 1962, the world's first telecommunications satellite was launched, Telstar. So quite interesting to see where we are now with satellite broadcasting. And 20 years ago, in 2000, according to the government's Office of National Statistics, there was a UK tidal wave of web users, and 1 in 4 of British homes were now using the internet. Look where we are now, 20 years on. So that's a look back in history. More importantly, today is about INOOT, and we do have a prize draw at the end. And to spice it up today, and to give my colleague guys a bit of a challenge, there are a first and second prize today. So that'll be right at the end of the webinar. So let me just give a bit of background for everyone's benefit on Servium and how we can help you, and working with partners like Zoom. So ultimately, we put you, our customers, at the center of everything we do. Your challenge, we want to walk in your shoes. We become a troubleshooter, someone you can lean on, someone you can turn to. And we do that through a great account management team, some really good customer service. We have excellent customer satisfaction. We always get feedback from our customers like yourselves to make sure that we're continually improving. We have a comprehensive ecosystem of service partners, the likes of Zoom, that I'm responsible for. But ultimately, whatever your challenge, no matter how small, how big, we work with you throughout the life cycle of that challenge, from the strategy design, implementation, support. But more importantly for me is the review right at the end. Have we delivered on time, within budget, and to your expectations? So a complete life cycle of services there. But the ecosystem that you have access to as our customers has tremendous breadth, depth, and scale. But to me, transparency is key. We're not doing anything unique in the marketplace by partnering, but we'll tell you who we're working with and why when you need that particular subject matter expertise. And the key thing is those experts will dovetail within your existing resource. So there's a lot we can do, and we do have a separate INOOT webinar that I'd encourage you to have a look at. It's on our YouTube channel that covers the whole raft of services that we can provide you. Today, when we look at our Pathfinder proposition, where does this fit? And it's very much in workspace, collaboration, and so on. So that's the background for me. So I'm going to pass over to Mike, and I believe you also got a live demo as well, haven't you, today, Mike?
We will attempt a live demo, indeed. So the idea is that we're going to give you a whistle-stops tour of Zoom Phone, part of the Zoom Phone portfolio. Thank you, Steve, and thanks to Servium for providing us the time slot here, and hopefully we'll give you more knowledge than you came in with on the way out. So let's talk about Zoom Phone. So Zoom Phone is essentially part of a platform that you already know with the flagship meetings, webinars, as we're using today, and also extending that into rooms with our hardware partners and our service partners. If you're already a Zoom user, you may also be using our chat, persistent channel chat that's part of the platform. But what is really important is that we also have an enterprise phone platform. And it is really an integrated, unified part of the platform that you're seeing on screen. So phone, meetings, webinars, the voice audio codecs, the streams, it is a single common piece of technology that we've brought together and then elevated into what we traditionally call the PBX. So many of you, if you're on-premise based PBX or managed services with the likes of other vendors, I won't name the names, but if you're looking to make that journey to the cloud and complete the modalities of web conferencing and chat and webinars, enterprise telephony is typically the next step. And it's here and now, and it's been around for just over 18 months from Zoom. But as I mentioned, the technology that we've built underneath it has been around for over 9 to 10 years. So our mission is to deliver frictionless video first communications on a native cloud. So what does that mean? It means we've never had technology that existed on the premise before. So essentially, when we built the stack to become cloud native, its ability to sustain noisy public networks with QoS built in or quality of service built in with error correction built in to give you that seamless quality of experience. And that goes for phone as well, although audio only, but definitely replacing the PBX of old. So when you've got that strategy to empty your data centers or to remove the premise-based PBX and bring that unified feeling into a Zoom platform, this is really where phone comes in. And the idea really we're seeing a lot of take up over the last couple of months, as you can well imagine. We've gone from 10 million daily users to well over 300 million daily users in 3 months. And that's forced us to expand and extend and scale our platform in a very elastic way. And we were able to do that in record time. And that goes for phone as well. So as you look at your traditional history with telephony, if you've had to maintain things like the life cycle of the platform, the upgrading, the scaling, that automatically happens with the cloud platform today. And where we're seeing a convergence of video and modern PBX is really where the use of Zoom has kind of been replacing traditional one-to-one telephony. We now have the ability, and we're seeing with our end users and our customers, where they're just simply clicking to meet with rich video instead of traditionally going to the PBX. We still think there's absolutely a need and a requirement for the PBX in many verticals and sectors such as retail, manufacturing, healthcare, and so on. So there are personas within an organization that will still be using telephony in the traditional way, but we also have that ability to bring the two together in ways we've never seen before. But take COVID, for instance, where many of you are now part of what we call a distributed workforce. And to have your extension wherever you want and have the ability to escalate that into a rich video is a really key necessity that's never been planned before, but it will be planned for the future. And Zoom's here to help you deliver that. So what we hear from our customers is typically a number of pain points that why they want to talk to us about the cloud. And where I talk about remote and mobile workers, this is real today. We're no longer having to go to an office to work. So the concept of having a phone on a desk is something it's going to go away, and it is happening right now. So we're seeing a huge take up of the ability to use Zoom Phone or use your corporate extension anywhere, anytime. the next kind of thing we see is where customers have moved modalities of collaboration into either a managed service or a cloud, or consumed it from a service partner. And that gets into that disjointed way where video conferencing, content sharing, chat, voice, mobility, desktop, that these seem to be all disjointed. And what customers are asking for, and what driving us to create that market, is that unified experience, right? That single platform for both management, provisioning, deprovisioning, automation, and that single portal for both analytics and provisioning. They've also seen where they have had to upgrade their platforms. If you don't upgrade your platforms and keep up with the vendor roadmap, you're putting your company at risk, because if you're running, let's say, an old version of Windows, you're out of support. So it's not something you can run a business out of. So it's really important that technology is kept up to date. And with Zoom, it's always up to date. It's continuously updated. So no change requests and downtime required on your behalf. And like I mentioned, when you're managing multiple platforms, you may have different service owners within the organization. Someone looking after video, someone looking after voice, someone looking after storage, compute, the network. This now becomes one unified platform to manage. And we, as I mentioned, have built in things like quality of service, error correction, the codec we're using within the platform for audio and video is all built into the platform. So there's no need for you to have to maintain that at the lower level of the network. And of course, there's that ongoing maintenance. So you always have that ongoing maintenance contract that you have to make sure that it's up to date, a part of your OPEX. But that now changes 100% to OPEX, because every subscription of a SaaS service, whether it's Zoom or someone else, it also includes that maintenance of the platform. So that means a lot of savings for you. When we talk about meetings, we are really talking about bringing together the organization in ways they've never done before, from places they've never connected from before, on devices as well. So we look at the corporate information worker, management and execs who demand high quality video, boardrooms at home now we're hearing about, administration, so the power users, and I always say the administrative assistants within the organizations are typically the power users, because they are managing multiple execs as far as telephony is concerned, and also the remote workers at home. We're also seeing, as I mentioned earlier on, there are the PBX only kind of user, the reception, the frontline workers, the production workers who typically just need voice. And that's really where we're bringing those together on that single platform. What next? Well, let's look at Zoom. So Zoom is a single platform, both at the back end, as I illustrated earlier on, but also that unified client at the front end, both on the desktop, Windows, Mac, and Linux, and also on the mobile platform, Android and iOS. We also have a BlackBerry iOS UEM version, if you're interested in that, which is very, very consistent across the platform. So let's dive into a quick tour of the client. Let's see if this works. So here we go. Hopefully you should be able to see my screen. Give me a nod, someone, or just let me know.
Yep, that's good.
Screen. Okay, so this is the unified client I talk about. So if you're using meetings today, you'll have a home, chat, meetings, and contacts. Your contacts could be synchronized with your Active Directory or any directory service you're running today. Your meetings could be synchronized with your calendars, whether it's a Microsoft or a Gmail calendar as well. So you'll have your calendar appointments here. You can see on my demo client, I'm not busy today. On my real client, I'm absolutely busy today. But this is really where your client, your calendars would be synchronized, and one touch to meet, one touch to connect through to your meeting. Once you're activated with Zoom Phone, you have a call plan, you'll see Zoom Phone appear on that single client. So it's not a separate client, very important to understand this, not a separate app within the mobile platform. It's a unified platform that gives you that soft phone effect. So if you really wanted to see what the mobile platform looks like, that's effectively what the mobile handset looks like. It's very much familiar. I'm not going to teach you how to use a phone. I'm sure you've all been doing it for many, many years. And you've also been doing things like people dialing, name dialing. So, you know, if you wanted to find someone, you just type in their name, it looks up the directory, and you can click to dial in that way. From the client, you can also choose your CLI, whether it's your direct dial or your main switchboard, or even hide your caller ID. So you have full control within the client. We also support things like auto attendant and call queues to streamline automation of things like service desk calls. So you could be a member of a call queue, and if you're at lunch, you can control whether you're in the call queue or receiving calls from that queue. In our next release, we'll have multiple, you'll be able to be a member of multiple call queues, where you and a team of subject matter experts are receiving calls inbound from internal or external customers, and you have the ability to choose which queue you can be a member of. So that'll be in the next release as well. Let's just head back to the desktop app. Again, everything I'm going to show you has feature fidelity between the desktop and the mobile. So just down here, as you would expect, a history of my missed calls, my recorded calls, or all my calls I've had over the period that I'm keeping history. And I can also manage whether I'm going to be blocking this caller in future or it's a spam call, and this maintains my block list. I can do so. I've got full control of the client here. I can obviously ring back by just clicking this icon here, and I can also manage my contacts by just adding as you would with your mobile phone today. So not a great learning curve when you're thinking about adding Zoom Phone and extending your organization onto your handset or your desktop. We also have voicemail built in, as you would expect. So not a separate platform as you would in the olden days. We have it built in, no extra licensing, no extra subscription, it's just there. We also have the ability to transcribe. So if I click on this and I'm on my mobile client, I don't really want to take the call, I can just read it on my phone, and I can see I've got a voicemail transcription built in. Again, nothing extra, it's all there as part of the core platform. When we talked about the power users, I talk about the administrative assistants. I can have multiple shared lines. So typically in the old days where you had phones with sidecars, multiple lines managing, dialing out as for the exec, you can have that feeling exactly as you did with the hard phone on the soft phone as well. So you can dial out as the delegate or your shared line. You can answer calls, you can park calls, you can transfer calls. So you can turn it into a kind of a reception console as well. Ignore the SMS for now. That's currently being trialed in the UK, in the US, but that will be coming to the European market very soon. I'm not too sure whether, I've not been getting a lot of requests from our clients, but certainly it will be available for you to be able to send SMS from the client as well. Okay, let's just switch back to the deck. All happy there? Steve, could you just reshare?
Mike, bear with us. Just having a technical difficulty. Steve seems to have just dropped off. Bear with me 2 secs.
That's okay. I can do it here if you want.
Yeah, go on. Go for it.
Okay, so let's just go back to the screen share. So hopefully you should be seeing my screen share now.
Yes, that's there.
Perfect. So hopefully I gave you an idea of the client in real time. Let's talk about how you can deploy Zoom Phone. So Zoom Phone has 3 flavors of implementation. We have a native Zoom Phone call plan. Native means that you can move both your PBX and your carrier services to Zoom. Single cloud with points of presence or PSTN breakout across the globe. So you can move your entire telephony workload to Zoom with 2 plans. An unlimited plan, which means you can make unlimited both landline and mobile calls domestically for a single fee per month per user. Or you can have a metered plan. So very similar to the way you consume your mobile phone. I'll have a pay-as-you-go and every call I make is metered after that. So that's currently available in 18 countries. We're extending that to another 27 as of next month. And then you'll see further countries released in the future. So within the next 12 months, we'd expect to exceed 70 countries where you can come to Zoom and bring your entire workload, both PBX and carrier services, to Zoom for a single subscription fee. We also have the ability to do what we call premise peering. So today, if you're running your PBX on site, you have voice gateways or SBCs on the edge of your network connecting to the carrier. we could take one of those or a pair of those SBCs, point it back into the Zoom cloud in a parallel way. So you have a leg going into your PBX and a leg going into the Zoom cloud. And that allows you to do things like migration from the traditional PBX into the Zoom cloud. And you can still maintain the contract and the billing with your existing carrier. Why you want to do that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Maybe you're locked into a contract and there's a penalty to exit. So stick with your carrier, but bring your workload to Zoom Phone. The other reason you might want to stick with your carrier is that you are in a territory or a region across the globe where we're not in a native fashion. So you might want to stick with your carrier in those regions and then move your PBX to the Zoom cloud. And lastly, the other reason you might do is if you have the purchasing power and you have really compelling per minute rates with your carrier, absolutely stay with your carrier, no problem there. And you can use your PBX functionality with Zoom Phone. Where we're going next, coming soon, is something called cloud peering. And we're doing that with all workloads, both contact center, carriers, and other workloads, where we're going to be bringing together our cloud with our cloud partners, enabling you as a customer to absolutely empty your data center. So no need to do premise peering into your SBC. We'll connect over to your carrier. You still own the contract. You still pay the carrier the bills, but we'll take care of the transport and allow you to empty your data center. You're probably wondering about the soft phones and hard phones. Well, yes, we do support a range of hard phones too. And there is a legitimate reason why you might want to maintain hard phones. So Yealink and Poly and audio codes are supported with what we call zero-touch provisioning. So you could buy your handsets, your hardware from your manufacturer, and you can provision it in the single console with Zoom Phone. Just put the MAC address in, assign it to a user, and then ship the phones out to site. You don't need skilled personnel to plug it in and provision them. Just plug them in, and they provision themselves, and you're up and running. So very rapid deployment methods there. We also support a small range for Cisco phones, where you would have to switch from the Cisco CUCM to a multi-platform license, but we do support those if you want to maintain your investment in Cisco. But we also have paging and intercom systems. So this hardware certified hardware list is published on our website. You can see the link down below. And typically, if it's not listed, TLS 1.2 and standard SIP, it typically would work. So we will go through a certification there. Finally, let's just touch upon some pricing. So what does it cost and what flavors of pricing are there out there? So did you know you could have Zoom Phone for free? If you're just doing internal calling, extension only, soft phone only, there is a free version of Zoom Phone that you can have today. And there are personas within many of our customers that run that today. We also have the premise peering, the bring your own carrier I illustrated earlier there. So it's a low cost because it's just a PBX cost from us. The rest of the bills are paid to your carrier directly. And then on the right, the last two are the native plans. So you can have a metered, very similar to the way you consume your mobile phone today, or an unlimited, very much if you're doing a single cost, but you're doing a large volume of domestic calling to both landline and mobiles. That's a really compelling package for you. So the reason I've got that split across here is that you can just start to think about how you want to split your organization into the personas and start to figure out what is the average cost per user when you're looking at Zoom Phone in many planned deployments. So let me just sum up. Zoom Phone, always designed, and everything we do is all about ease of deployment, standard-based certification. We do offer very complex migration options with our partners from, such as Servium. And also, you can extend that through our development kit, our APIs. Single UI for management portal, for analytics, for provisioning, lots of feature-rich information there. If you want to delve deeper, we can absolutely spend more time doing that. But it really is about that ease of use. You've seen the escalation of Zoom climb over the last 3 to 4 months because it just works. And phone is exactly the same. It's not complex and it should not be complex. And the consumption of that is very simple to understand. Hopefully I illustrated that in the previous slide. So you can start to look at where you can start to bring on net savings. And just on that point, that last point, it's important to understand, if you're running Zoom Phone and you're currently running Zoom meetings, dialing into a Zoom meeting from a Zoom Phone is free of charge because it's on net. You're in the cloud already. There's no need to pay any carrier cost for that. So I'm going to hand back. Hopefully it's useful, informative, and thank you so much for your time. But I'm going to hand back to Steve to take it home. Are you there, Steve?
Yes, Steve is there. He should be there.
Any Q&A? Stick it in the Q&A channel while Steve's carrying on with the rest of the show. I'm more than happy to answer any questions in the Q&A.
Yeah, I'm back in the room. That's tested the technology, hasn't it? It didn't happen on rehearsal, did it, Mike?
No, it didn't. Did we rehearse?
Yeah, we definitely did. We definitely did. The technology. Eh? So, yeah, apologies for that. Okay, internet, I think all those internet users that were flooding it 20 years ago have come back and sort of spoilt my Virgin Media connection, but there you go. So, right, I'll go back to screen share, and we'll do the Q&A. So yes, I might say if you've got any questions, then please fire away, and we'll just get to the bit. There we go. Right. So this is where I like to put you on the spot, sir. So question firstly from Alan. I think this is quite relevant to where we are now. How quickly can Zoom Phone be installed and implemented at the moment? Can it be done remotely, Mike?
Yeah, if you're a current Zoom Meetings user, it could take anything from 5 minutes to an hour for us to provide you with a Zoom Phone license, and it will appear on your client. And it will also appear on your management platform very easily. No packaging, installation required at your end. So okay. As rapid as you want it to be.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Mike. One from Chris in relation to existing phone numbers. So does Zoom Phone support my existing numbers? Can they be ported?
Yeah, great question. So on the native plan that I illustrated, where you're bringing your carrier services to Zoom, we also manage the whole porting process. So you don't have to do that. Just provide us with a letter of authorization, what we call an LOA, any part of the world, and we have a global team that takes the care of the management of talking to your losing carrier and porting those numbers into Zooms, and they'll appear in your portal for you to manage it ongoing.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Mike. Question from Darren. Will it support complex call flows and hunt groups?
Absolutely. We talk about complex in the past, yes. So we have call queues that have features such as maximum wait time, maximum calls in a queue. You can have overflow calls when they reach those thresholds, and that's completely tunable by you. You can then start to maintain, if the call's not answered, what do I do with it next? So you can absolutely manage the call flow from start to finish, even to an SLA where you might issue to your customers your maximum wait time and complex problem solving is guaranteed. You may want to do that. Zoom Phone can help you do that.
Great. Okay, thanks. Question from Jane. Level of voicemail, day-night services, what sort of options are available from that? Because, for example, we have an out-of-office situation where it's diverted to a voicemail. So those sort of scenarios, Mike?
Yeah, absolutely. So within the auto attendant, or in fact, any inbound call to any DDI or switchboard number can be managed based on a schedule. So we also add, mandatory holidays, whether it's Christmas Day, Chinese New Year. You can manage from a global footprint, follow the sun. So outside of working hours, if someone rings into your Hong Kong number, it will absolutely be picked up by a live person in another location. So it's automated completely through a schedule.
Okay, great. Thanks for that, Mike. Question from Phil. Can you route in-country numbers to out-of-country users as part of a hunt group? They have overseas supported users and out of country follow the same support. So I think you sort of touched on that before, but out of country routing, Mike.
Yeah, so if I understand you right, Phil, it's calls are coming into your call queue, but could I route them out to external numbers regardless of where I am in the world? Yes, you can. We've introduced a feature where you can extend the call queue to external numbers as well.
Okay. Question from Derek. Is there any call center functionality integration, including dialers?
Yes, the integration we've built with 5 partners, 5 cloud partners around the globe. So Five9, Nice in Contact, Genesis Cloud, TalkDesk, and Twilio is supported from a peer level. So I mentioned about carrier peering coming soon. We do exactly the same with our contact center cloud partners, where a call could come into Zoom Phone. If it's for the contact center, it will go across the peering point. What we're developing very soon is richer integration, where you'll be able to see the presence of the agent, and the agent can pass the call back through to maybe a subject matter expert sitting in a call queue. So very, very tight integration there. Also allowing contact center dialers to be able to route calls out through Zoom Phone as well.
Okay, thanks. They're coming in thick and fast. Question from Mark. Can you link to a mobile phone if out of office?
Yes, absolutely. So there's 2 ways you can do that. You just run Zoom Phone on your mobile phone, and it's just your extension in your pocket. If, for instance, you want to route to an external number, your personal mobile phone, or maybe you're in a holiday home and there's a fixed line in there, you can absolutely self-service from the portal and just say, add this endpoint to my single number reach, in fact.
Okay. Question from Franco. We have a Mitel telephone system. Can we use the old handsets if needed? It's a Mitel.
Yeah, if needed. So Mitel's not on our supported list today, but doesn't mean it won't work. It just means it won't be supported by Zoom. Just check and see if it's TLS 1.2 for handshake and encryption, and it supports standard SIP. It could work. I'm not going to guarantee it, but if it's depreciated, it's one of those things that you could potentially reinvest in alternative handsets. But TLS and SIP should work.
Okay, great. That's it. That really put you on the spot there. So I think that's it for now. Unless anyone else has got any more questions, that's done. But obviously, anything specific, then please get in touch with your account manager. Part of the sort of next steps on with Zoom Phone, if you want to do a trial, we're offering a limited trial for a minimum of sort of 2 weeks, maybe up to 4 weeks for about 5 users. So if you do want to do a trial of Zoom Phone, then please just get in touch. But also, I'll launch the poll now, just while I sort of summarise. Then there's an option to just highlight in the poll if you would like to do a trial of a Zoom Phone. And if you're already a Zoom user, then relatively easy to integrate. But just highlight there if you'd like to do the trial. I think sometimes putting it to the test really does answer a lot of questions. But if there are any specifics, then by all means get in touch with your account manager, or alternatively you can drop an email to inoot@servium.com. So the poll is important to us because we use the feedback to sort of fine-tune our webinars. It's important that we're hitting the mark. So if you wouldn't mind taking the time just to complete that while I summarise. Mike, thank you very much for your time today. That's been really interesting insight into Zoom Phone. So thank you very much.